folks, welcome to this exciting video where you once again join me in the wild landscape of Scotland. And today I've come to the edge of Montrose. I'm kind of at the main road between Montrose and Hillside, and literally, oh no, it would be St Cyrus actually folks, it's up this way. Montrose and St Cyrus. And it's kind of foggy today, and we're going to what we noticed a few weeks ago when I was out with the channel DJ. We were driving along the road and we noticed an old graveyard on the brow of the hill, and it's a graveyard that we've never visited on the channel, and we do love to visit places that we've never been before. So for this adventure I've put on the wellies, because it looks like I might have to go along like the edge of a field and then climb through a bit of a forest to get to it. But yeah, it was just kind of spontaneous. I was thinking, where can I go today? And then I remembered about this place and I thought, it's so cool for an adventure. Check out these massive cement chunks. At one time they were blocking this road. I'm not sure if they were like wartime tank traps or whatever. There's a super busy road right here that I'm at the side of. And because of the fog, you can hardly even see like if there's any cars coming until the last minute. So like I was saying a minute ago, this road is just super busy. Every 2 seconds there's just car after car going past. And check out, we've made it as far along as where the cemetery is, I believe. Look at this, here's the road sign, the A92, Stonehaven 20 miles, Aberdeen 35. And that sign at the other side of the road says Angus Coastal Tourist Route. So if any of the viewers of this channel's like in Scotland on their holidays, this is the kind of road you may be travelling down. Little bits of abandoned history can often be hidden over here at the side. It goes unseen, and it's kind of off the beaten path up in this forest. But from what I'm seeing here, this field is like full of cows. So I might have to try and figure out like an alternative route into this place. Right folks, I've just decided I'm going to try and go back down this road to where I came, and I'm going to try and go around the back of this property here and then make my way up the side of that forest at the far side, because I'm not seeing another fence line up the other way, and I'm not wanting to walk absolute miles through people's property, and I think this would be the shortest route because I can literally see the grave site at the top of this hill up here. Sometimes that's what these adventures are all about. Trying to actually get to the abandoned history to document it. Sometimes the coolest places are the hardest ones to get to. Right folks, we're doing it. Mission's still on. I can see there's a couple of houses and stuff here. Like, and I'm going through the forest. I'm hoping that I can just kind of go straight into this other field and then up the perimeter of that. I can hear a bird of prey flying about. Yeah, it looks like I should be able to step over this fence here because it's been knocked over. Right folks, worst case scenario, I just slipped when I was climbing the fence and look, I've torn my trousers. Check it out. So that's like a worst nightmare. I'm going to still try and continue on to this, but that's so rubbish. My good new exploring trousers. Yeah, I'm just going to continue on round here. Looks like he's been freshly sown the field here, but to the landowner and that, always come with the greatest respects. I'm just making my way around the perimeter here, doing no damage to document the history. Sometimes that's what happens when you're exploring folks. The fence got the better of me. I was stepping over it and my toe just got caught on it, and then my knee must have made contact on a sharp bit of the wire and over I went. Before I knew it, the trousers is ripped, but at least we've managed to make our way around to the edge of this ancient wonder. I'm now at the opposite side of the cow field and the forest, and I'm just hoping I can navigate without a farmer chasing me off the land here. So here we are folks, we've made it through thick and thin, through this incredible foggy wonderland, and what an adventure it's been. And I've managed to locate this crazy grave, and it's on this steep mound of land here, So it'll be interesting to go and see what it's all about. Often big estates and stuff had burial grounds like this for like the families of the estate. And I believe that's what this may be. This is actually the Canaber area here. And a few weeks ago I was here with the channel DJ. Like I said earlier in the video, we were driving along the main road and we saw the outline of this. And look at it, there's multiple burial sites here, hidden in this wild landscape. And I can even see headstones and stuff sticking out of the long grass. Yeah, the reason I didn't want to go through the cow field down there, they've got cafes and they could be quite defensive if they were trying to defend their calves. Look at that, the big hole in my trousers, folks. I'm dealing with that for the way back. It'd be good if I could somehow like fix it up. Check it out here, the massive old gate. And look at the metal castings here, the shape of them. I love finding stuff like this. It's like history just forgotten and abandoned in a Scottish forest. The more years that pass, the more this stuff degrades and decays with the time and nature. Look at that. June, I think it says 1798. Carnegie. George Carnegie, it seems to be the Carnegie family. Susan Scott. So that'll be some interesting like local family which was buried here. And it's mad to think in the 1700s, that's when that cast and stuff would have been put up. Sometimes bits of it got broken off from the trees coming down and smashing it. Other times, like in World War II and stuff, sometimes railings were taken away from places to be used for like ammunition and stuff. But I think most likely with this, it's just been broken off over the years and maybe taken away. Most likely hit with a tree or whatever in this crazy environment. Look at this here. 1914 it says at the top, I believe. Oh, this person died age 22. Wow, what a place this is, folks. It's amazing to have that variety of different sorts of places on the channel. Sometimes when you come to a place like this, it's like a secret garden. You never know what's like hidden around the corner. And look at this, there's a tombstone down here on the side of the hill. Wow. Yeah, there's just loads of burial sites here. The reason they used to have the high fences and gates is to stop people going in, and like the grave robbers back in the day used to go in and try and steal the bodies and sell them for medical science. And that used to go on at an ancient time in British history. So until the body was at a certain stage of decay, they had to guard it fiercely. But also people used to go and dig up the bodies and try and steal any like riches that they were buried with. And that's another reason that they often would have a fence around them. Yeah, the stone's so badly eroded, unfortunately. The names and stuff is just about fully off. Look, you can see a hint of the writing at that side. Wow, folks, real history once again on the channel. It's just so cool that there's so much stuff hidden in the landscape of Scotland here, and it's like, it blows my mind. This one doesn't actually look as old. These ones with the massive thick metal railings are so impressive. And you can imagine these shrubs here would have been planted when it was like probably first put in, because they're slow growing for sure. Yeah, this one's kind of built with a natural stone that you would find lying about in the ground around here. And there's no obvious remains of a headstone. It's like it has had a gate though on here, because I can see the cutouts. And then the daffodils are flowering here. That shows the springtime environment we're dealing with today. And look at that there. Those other purple flowers are out as well. A bit of springtime colour on the channel right there. Yeah, look at this here, there's a proper stone in there, but it's just so overgrown. That one in there's got like a Celtic cross. Wow, the way that's all like cast and built, it's so impressive to see. And the way that nature takes back over It's just incredible. If you go and try and climb through these things, they're lethal. And it's like razor wire. And my trousers has already got enough holes in them for one adventure, folks. Yeah, wow, I can't believe I'm like walking about in an area like this. It's just mind-blowing to see. I'm sure, right, I've just noticed a wasp or a bee going into the hole in the wall there. So it's maybe looking for a place to build like a hive. Let's go and get a close-up of it, folks. We're out getting stung to death here. Yeah, see, there's a crack in the wall halfway along there. And I've just seen a bee or a wasp flying in there. Look at that, it's cracked here. That shows that the whole, like, wall outline must be settling with the ground. Check these things out. It's mad to see all the different ways that they made the railings and the fencing. Each one different and unique. And each one super ancient. Wow, this is so cool, folks. I love, like, trying to get through wilderness often to find the history. I never know what it's going to be next, and it's cool to see like this. It's like a little bit of forgotten history of like families which were buried here that probably owned the land or the local farms. Look at that one, it's got a proper doorknob on it. Yeah, the way the moss and stuff just takes over. All the names on here, it's the Gordon family. And the most recent date I'm seeing is 2015 here. So it shows there's obviously still a family that maybe is related to this site and stuff like that. And that's the reason I always come to sites with respect and just share like the history that's hidden and forgotten, without going traipsing about and trying to force my way in. Like if the gates and stuff shut, can I never come to damage property and things like that. Look at the way this cross is on the top of this casting. That's what I mean by each one being different. It's just so cool to see. It's been made like leaves or whatever they are. And then look at this here, the old iron gates. Wow, they've not been opened for a serious amount of years. Look, they're rusted together. The whole frame just looks like a flake or a chocolate bar. Oh yeah, I can see the wee graves actually in there along the wall. You can imagine in the summer this will be so overgrown you wouldn't even be able to see in at all. That's why it's cool to come at certain times of the year. I did put the wellies on to try and minimise the risk of like ticks and stuff like that, but now that I've got a hole in my trousers, it's kind of done away with that safety. So check this out, folks. I've done a crude repair here by tying the threads on the side of the rip together, just so it looks a bit more decent for when I walk back out of this place. It's obviously got a massive hole in it, but that's kind of fashion nowadays, isn't it, folks? Having a big hole in the knee of your trousers. Oh, I can see like a little tree swing and stuff. Whoa, the water's fleeing onto my head for the tree. Yeah, I'm trying to read what it says here. The names even, or the wee bit of history that this story can share. So interesting. It's hard to see though. It often comes out better on the camera. Sometimes when I'm editing videos and I'm looking at writing on the stones, I can clearly read it. Whereas like with the human eye, it's harder to see. But yeah, what an interesting place this has been. There's a couple more stains just to have a look around here. Wow, what an adventure this has been. To find this place and like try and navigate the land to get to it. Obviously falling over the wire on the fence wasn't a good move, but apart from that it's just so cool. Check this out, this is a smaller stone out with the walls. Maybe other family members or poorer people from around got buried out with the walls. 1816 it looks like here. Yeah, so maybe these ones predate some of the ones within the walls as well. Maybe there was just random little burials here and then they started getting more extreme as the years went on. They maybe just kept adding to it. Wow, what a special sight. And the way the fog's like rolling in over the land, it just adds to the eeriness of the kind of like graveyard in the forest. But yeah, when I noticed this place was here, I was so intrigued to try and like come and see what was all on the go. So there we are, folks. Now I have to try and navigate this mad land to get back out of here. It's so crazy. I can't even believe like how foggy it is today. It's almost like off-putting trying to navigate. Today when I was in the distance trying to see the graveyard, I couldn't even see it, and I was literally like 200 meters away from it. But it's just because the fog's like so thick. Yeah, this is the one I was thinking, or maybe that. Yeah, this is the one I thought looked like it was built from the more rough stones that had been lying about here, compared to some of the other stone constructions that's around, that's proper like building stone, as you would say. Check this out, folks. Maybe this tree here was actually the culprit, because that's right in line with the fence there, and you can just imagine how the history can be wiped out overnight by the tree falling like that and damaging the fence. Again, maybe videos like this will protect and save the history, so you can see how the castings actually looked and how the stonework was on each different grave. So it's a special thing to come and have adventures in a place like this. Each little nugget that I explore, sometimes it's like a grave site or an abandoned house, but it just amazes me with the variety of different things, often just a few miles from each other, but all set in like extreme environments, but just incredibly looking environments as well. Yeah, you can really tell how foggy it is once you're out in the open. It's just madness, folks. I was actually thinking about going on another adventure after this, but I'm thinking I might go back home and change into my secondary pair of trousers, because I can't be walking about with like a massive tear on my knee, because it kind of ruins the adventure having that, folks. But it just shows the things we go through to often like document history. Probably like overall like the thousands of fences we've climbed on adventures. That's the first time my trousers has gotten caught and gotten ripped like that, so we're doing no too bad overall. And just check it out, the field's proper smooth. It's like it's been grubbed or seeded or whatever here. The farmer must be getting ready to put in his fresh crop, or else the fresh crop will probably already be in this field. Anyway, I'm just kind of navigating back down the side of this property and back down to the main road where the pavement is. So it's mad just to think about the years that's passed since graveyards like that were in their prime, and it just goes to show they're no longer maintained and upkept like at one time they were. And sometimes even the memory of the people that are buried within them gets forgotten. That's how it's cool to come and explore them and just see what family names are on there. If it's a piece of history that I've never been to, I just love exploring it and seeing what's there. And from a distance we could see that iron fence sticking up on the hill. Yeah, I just wanted to go and see it, and we've done it. And it's cost me a pair of trousers, folks. What an adventure. I could see the rain just coming off the trees here every time the wind blows. Oh no! Look away, folks, if you're squeamish. Right now there's a dead red squirrel in the middle of the road. Look at it, the poor little thing. It's been hit by a car. Oh my goodness, folks, that is just a horrible thing to see. The poor little endangered red squirrel. Because the grey squirrels are actually taking over, and like the red ones are endangered. When they get hit by cars and stuff, it's so sad to see. Maybe just, it probably came that same route like every day. One day it just eventually got hit by the car, like, but normally a squirrel goes the same route every day to go and get its nuts. It'll go and like bury nuts in the summer, and then in the winter it goes back and like digs them up. It's quite cool. And now I'm pretty near to my car. That wasn't too far for an adventure, but it was quite extreme. The wee bit of landscape that I had to navigate. I thought it was going to be easy, like nipping across the field, and then it turned out with those cows being in the field, it was a complete no-no. But yeah, there we go, folks. It was a bit of fun, something different, something we've never seen before. And right now I'm waiting to go home and change my trousers, get on another pair of camos for the next adventure, and I'll have to try and not rip down for sure. Anyway, that's me just about back at the car, folks. So I'll end this one here. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll be back in the next adventure very soon.